good morning, guys. It's Thursday, and as you know, the first and third Thursday of the month is Creative Flow time. So, I'm grabbing out my Creative Flowish journal. If you don't know what that is, make sure you go back and check the previous video. This is the Flowish journal that Erin sent me that I've been using for this series. She's been using the journal that I sent her, so I'm just picking out bits and pieces of things that I think I may want to use in the Flowish project today. So as you know, the rules state that you have to use 3 of the items, excuse me, that the other person sent. So the only kind of thing that I knew today is that I want to get better in 2018 in acrylic faces. So I'm relatively comfortable in watercolor faces and things like that. I say comfortable, I'm not a pro, but I do feel a lot more comfortable with watercolor and doing faces than I do with out it. So, I did know that I wanted to kind of do a face today, but a lot of other like emotions and thoughts came to me as I started creating this. Now, I'm just using some titanium white, Luca's paint, not just so surprise, surprise. No other reason than it was just sitting right there. Y'all already know how I roll. And I'm just glued down that one piece of paper, like music page that Erin sent me, and then I just kind of made some mess with the little umber to get a little bit of color down. And in Tiffany fashion, you know, I do not really am not going for realism. I'm not going for it to look like anyone. I'm going for it to emit the emotion on the page. So the personalities kind of come to me as I go through this, and I'm using a Stabilo awl to actually draw or get some type of identifiable marks like eyes and mouth and nose. And as I started, I realized that her head was kind of tilted, which was not intentional. I do try to use towards the back of my pencil when I'm getting down and starting, just to keep everything super loose. I don't really go for things that are pretty per se. If they are pretty to some people, that's great, but that's not really my goal. My goal is to actually just lay my heart out on the page in a visual way. So, and if it turns out pretty, oh, great. If it doesn't, then that's okay too. And now I'm taking some Payne's Gray, and I'm going in on the face and just trying to put down some of the darker colors in the recesses of the face. So where it may cast a shadow at, where I'm taking the paint scraper and I'm going to scrape that back. I really like how, I don't know, I'm so unusual, I guess. I don't know, I like when things make you look at them for a while to think, man, do I like it? Is it pretty? Is it raw and loose and interesting and makes me stare at it for a while? That's the kind of art that I want to challenge myself to make, not things that are necessarily pretty for the sake of being pretty. And I do like, sorry my curls got in the way, I do like using that scraper thing, and that's not really a quote unquote like art tool. That's just a little squeegee thing that we use at work sometimes. They send us one like every time they send a new logo to go out on the front of the door. So I like taking those and using those to pull back paint, or to make sure that you put a nice you know, if you need to get air bubbles out, it's good for that too. So that's what that little guy is. And now I'm going in with some quinacridone azo nickel gold. I don't know what it was. But as you see, I keep doing that scrape back thing. I don't know where I got that from, but I just like how it looks. And it makes me as an artist not be able to know where, I mean, like, it's kind of scary because it's like, man, if I pull that thing down and it jacks something up, then I'm going to have like color in the wrong spots. But I think that's part of what I like about it is the fact that I don't know what the next move is going to be. And as y'all know, I fly through life by the seat of my pants anyway. So, and I'm just going in there again using Stabilo All in Water to add and darken some of those places and marks and things like that. Just kind of getting some shadows and trying to bring that face forward off of the page a little bit. And I do like wild messy hair because my hair is wild and messy all the time anyway. And then I thought, because I really did kind of get lost in the moment, and I was like, Tiffany, I'm filming this. So I did step back and go, okay, I've got to use some of those flowish things. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool if her eyelids, or not really her eyelids, but between her eyelid and her eyebrow would be like a that tissue paper stuff. So that's what I tried. At the end, I do believe it just got covered up. So that tells me from a learning prospect is the next time I do this, I need to do that at a later portion. So when I'm almost through, that's when I need to lay that down because otherwise it's going to get covered up. And if I would have caught it earlier, I could have like pulled a baby wipe out and was able to wipe that back. But, you know, I like to learn with you guys. I'm not one of those people who do the art and then I try to duplicate it on film. Nah, not me. And here I'm just going in with the little hole punch thing that Erin sent in the Flowish journal. And I'm just going in here and making some circles and things to use that. And here, I don't know if it's gotten covered up yet because I can't really tell. I think it got covered up right there when I pulled that paint down. But I'm just going with the flow. Flow, you get it? Flowish? Okay, okay. I'm not even going to go there. You know, it's hysterical to me that you guys just keep coming back and watching my videos because I am such a nut. I don't even know how y'all stand it. And so I'm getting a little more happy with, you know, how the shadows and the recesses of the eyes, I think they look more pushed back. And now I'm going back with my handy dandy watercolors. This palette is Daniel Smith watercolor palette, not one that you purchase, just tubes of watercolor that I've gotten that I put in there. And then I realized when I got the titanium white and I had a little bit of that watercolor on my brush, it made the skin a little bit pink in some areas. So I thought that was kind of nifty and I just went with it. So watercolors and acrylics can play very nicely with each other if we allow them to. So I didn't really think that was going to happen, but it did. So I just kind of went with the flow. I'm going to keep saying that. And then I took some quinacridone magenta. This is golden fluid acrylic, and I just kind of went with it. There was a moment here where I thought I might take that scraper tool and just go over it, but I was like, I do have to get to work at some point today, so I could just keep going layers and layers and layers, but for the sake of just getting it done, I'm going in with some Payne's Gray, kind of darkening that background down. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw that Modern Buds, and I've used this quite a few times in some stuff, and I think the reason I keep coming back to it is because it's small and it's easy to keep on my desk. So it is a cool, very interesting shape, but it's not that I'm totally, this is the greatest stencil in the world. It's just simply because it's small and it's lightweight and it's easy for me to keep like right there. And so I use stencils more so for interest than I do necessarily for the stencil outcome, if that makes sense. And then I'm going in with a baby wipe, and the baby wipe just pulled some of the color from the back and made those interesting marks on there. So easy peasy. And then this is where I started thinking about some things that this face and emotion was kind of bringing to me. And then I decided I probably did not want those things to be all over the World Wide Web. So I just take my water bottle, because that was Stabilo, and I just pull that back a little bit. And now I'm going to go in with some titanium whites. And right here, I put way more than what I intended on doing. So in hindsight, which, I mean, good Lord, you could think of different ways you want to change it. But I think of art as learning what I like and what I don't like. If I had to do it over again, let's say it that way, I would probably use my my palette knife and go over that with the white titanium, opposed to going over with that scraper tool when I just totally jacked it up. But, you know, it's all good. And then I needed to use one more thing. Well, I really did use three things, but because the circle stencil in the background got covered up, then I felt like I needed to use that. And then, so I'm going to write in this, it's okay to say no. I live a very busy life, and I try to do everything for everyone and get all my deadlines hit and do all this stuff, and it's so much. And sometimes I just have to remind myself, Tiffany, it's okay to say no. So as I was going to bring this up, hair in the way. As I was going to bring this up to you guys, to the camera, I realized that I did not like that circle. So I end up tearing it off at the end and writing something different, because guess what? It's your journal and you can do whatever the Sam Hill you want. And I still feel like I could have spent more and more time on her, but I just had to get finished, because you guys don't want to hang out all day with me and just paint this girl. So I had to get done. And then when I pull it up here and I look at it and I'm looking in the camera, I decided I did not like that, and I just pulled that baby off, because guess what? We can do that. And I ended up writing be brave, because ultimately when you have to say no, you have to be brave in doing that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Flowist journal today. Please make sure you hop on over to Erin's channel and see what she did with the items that I sent her. And again, please hit the subscribe button, give me the thumbs up, and let me know what you'd like to see. Till next time, toodaloo.